I'm live! How y'all doing? First things first, it may already be known he may have made a community post. I don't know whether he did or not, but Dell will not be going live tonight. He's had his to-do list to get ready for a trip get longer on him, so he's trying to get all that together. Backtrack, keep working with that recipe. You'll eventually get it. And no backtrack. The piggy does not like the white stuff. The piggy looks at the white stuff, and you say that word. It's a four-letter word for me. It's a bad one. You'd be better off slapping me in the face than to say that word to me, and I'm gonna get it. It's a no, 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 no for me. It's beautiful to look at as long as somebody else is got. Say. Seen Avid and Samphy have been in here.
Mama Linda.
Mama Linda's in there, of course. If Dell ain't got that up nowhere, y'all spread the word. Avid, if you're in here, uh, you just heard Dell ain't going live, so if you want to do some early stuff, have at it.
Backtrack, I can already tell you from experience, no matter how close we get to our grandparents' recipes or even our parents' recipes, it will never be theirs.
There'll be one missing ingredient.
Their love.
Their love in making it.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, she knows me well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I know that from a fact, Just
there's always that special little something from somebody you've loved that made a dish, and you just never can get this because their love they put into making it. That could be part of it.
Yeah, backtrack. It's about time for us to do a carrot cake again, too.
Do a what?
He said it's about time for Alleen's carrot cake again. I said, yeah, it's about time for me to do a carrot cake again, too. Piggy's like, please. And thank you.
Yes.
Hey, Susie.
Well, we started taking probiotics. She got two different kinds. One she can take, one she can't.
Yeah, I thought I could take them both, but I can't.
One of them's got a, if you have any kind of latex sensitivity warning on it, and she is allergic to latex.
Yeah.
So, anyway, if last night was any indicator, because I took my first one yesterday.
They work good.
They work good, I'll just say that. Update on the car, we've been putting that fuel additive stuff in it. First one I put in was just for the fuel injectors. The second one was for fuel injectors, spark plugs, valves, cylinder walls, and other various moving parts within the fuel system. So I take that to mean the fuel pump as well. It's getting better. It has far fewer lurches to it. Yeah, backtrack. If you're referring to the probiotic, yeah. You talked about cleaning out. Anyway, that's what that Lucas stuff, Avid, is. Didn't I see what?
Probably the Dale's notification.
No, he sent me a message to let me know. I told him I'd spread the word. And anyway, that Lucas stuff, I got that second one to put in on that second tank. And it done some spitting and sputtering when it lurched as it went down the road. That spitting and sputtering is all but gone, and the lurching is all but gone. I might not even have to worry about changing that fuel filter, Avid, because the I can feel the power coming back into it. It's handling a lot better. Brakes are working better. So that traction control is doing better. Uh, so I'm going to keep getting that stuff and put it in with every tank. And I might do that from here on out. Just be part of the gas bill. It's more money spent, but hey, if that's going to take care of it, I'll just keep doing it to keep it clean. That's a lot cheaper than $75 for a fuel filter.
That's the truth.
Well, I might do it backtrack, but you sent that message. I hadn't seen that yet. But anyhow, that's the updates on that.
I was reading Abbott's comment. Didn't you see that flying piggy I shot down like that left?
That's what I told him. He sent him a message. I hadn't seen it. I did see your comment of pull, bang, bang, bang. I knew that's what you was referencing. Oh, me. I know some of y'all may hate it, but here we go. So much stuff going on. Things coming out about that judge. He's a leftist activist. His wife isn't involved in that, in some kind of organization that makes money off of illegals. His daughter is involved in some of that and something that, in representing them, the lawyer, making money off of them illegals. So no wonder that judge is fit to be tied over it. Trump taking his money away. Ain't that something? You know, and I don't see how any judge that is an activist of any kind is fit to sit on a bench. Especially when they go to way overstepping their authority and jurisdiction. Joe Piggy for you.
Hi, Joey.
You know, so I think he needs to be de-benched, de-licensed, and possibly put up on criminal charges for having tried to usurp presidential powers from the bench. Yeah. So they saw that Snow White movie. It tanked, and no wonder. Y'all seen anything on that? Y'all know why it's tanked. So, you know, we're learning today that something else that China's been done. They found a loophole in the immigration laws, and what they've been doing is Mama Bear!
Hey, Mama Bear.
They've been spending some billions on having Chinese couples send their sperm and egg over here to an American woman who they pay to gestate and birth that child. They come over here to get that child, take it back to China with a U.S. passport.
Hey, Scott.
What could possibly go wrong? Family with the brooms. You know, I think all those passports that have already been given out should be canceled, and that the whole thing be closed up. I don't care if they make it a law or if he does it through executive order. It needs to be done. Because that is letting an enemy power infiltrate your country through a loophole. That loophole shouldn't exist. You know the Dems had something to do with that because they work for China. At the end of the day, when you trace everything back, it's all going to come back to China. Because China's been trying to take over the U.S. in different ways by attrition. So, you know, all that stuff going on. Watching Benny Gus, there's some liberal woman trying to snatch a MAGA hat off this young boy's head on the subway. Door opened up and he got out. She went running after him. Oh, she went skidding across the concrete. But she couldn't catch him. She tripped up. Yeah, Mama Bear, that was funny. It was hilarious. And I seen some other illegal that was being deported. She was bringing in all sorts of drugs and fentanyl on top of it. She went to boo-hooing when they cuffed her up, take her off. They got her coming out of Golden Corral. You know, I don't want to body shame, but dang, they should have picked that up out of a pasture somewhere. Been the same difference. She thought she had it going on. Right, Mama Bear? I backtrack. You take care. Do what you got to do. And I hate it for the luck, but you know they knew they were doing wrong to begin with, so they did it to themselves. Plain and simple. You got that Jasmine Ghetto Crockett up there. She's trying to say that coming across the border illegally is not a crime. Oh, well, it's against the law. I.e., you committed a crime. Hate it for your luck, but you can't call what is what it ain't. Well, that's part of it, Mama Bear. There's a lot more to it. This web that's been woven down deep in that rabbit hole is extensive. I think a lot of it will start falling apart when they start going after those who are on the Epstein and Diddy list. Because once those names start coming out with subpoenas and warrants for their arrest attached to them, right? I think a lot of it will start falling apart because a lot of these judges, I guarantee you, are going to be on those lists. That's an automatic gone for them. The big one for me is people keep talking about Elon firing folks. Well, Elon can't fire nobody. He answers to somebody else in Trump's cabinet. He goes and he finds the waste, fraud, and abuse, makes recommendations, hands it to them. They do the cutting and terminating. Not Elon. Oh, he's into your information. Elon's worth hundreds of billions. He's worth almost $500 billion. With all of our accounts combined collectively, it still wouldn't come nowhere near what he's got. Probably not even a 10 million, 100 million nationwide. That's pocket lint for Elon. He made PayPal. If you had PayPal in the first few years it was in existence, he had your information then. You didn't cry then. What's he look like going through everybody's accounts trying to pick up a little bit more change? That's like going through your pocket, trying to dig out all the pocket lint to get to the couple of pennies you got down there. If he wanted more money, he could put patents on all his innovations and inventions, and anybody who wanted to use any part of any one of those innovations or inventions would have to pay licensing fees, probably recurring, in order to use them. He'd make a lot more money off of that than he would scrounging through our little bitty accounts. But he didn't patent any of it because he wants that technology widespread. Everybody can use it. If he had patented everything and done licensing fees and everything, he probably would be worth over $1 trillion right now himself. That Crockett woman trying to say he don't know how to run a business going off of Twitter because he bought that up. They ain't made no money off of it. Well, he bought that to save free speech. He don't care if it makes any money. He made it better, streamlined it, runs a lot better. And I'm pretty sure it's going to go up if it ain't already. That Crockett woman, true to Democrat form, focuses on one thing, tries to make it look like it's all bad. They do that on a lot of stuff. And they want to make AOC the Democrat Party leader. Oh my goodness. She's a straight up socialist Marxist, which translation is straight up communist. She was a woman working in a bar, answered a casting call for an acting job. What she's doing is that acting job. She's being told what to do by somebody else who hired her to do that job. Oops, guess what? It was USAID. Imagine that. So, and I've taken in Tim Walz. Oh my goodness. Wasn't it Tim Walz saying he could whip most of our butts? Well, former mayor of Knoxville,
Jacob
Glenn, a.k.a. Kane, popped up and said, let's rock, baby, let's dance. We'll do a charity thing out of it. I'll put up $10,000 for it myself. I've not really seen no responses from Tampon Tim on that yet. You talking about open mouth insert foot. Big old tall 7'2" wall of a man. Of course, Jacob Glenn said, he said, I don't know. He said, might get in the ring and I start laughing so hard I lose by default. That just, people talking out their butts on stuff. Like Crockett talking about Elon not knowing how to run a business because of Twitter. She took one thing and focused on it. Now, you would think that all these people are stupid. No, folks, they are not stupid. They're smart. they're being paid by somebody else, being made rich to play a part to help their master, China, take over the U.S. Joke gonna be on them. If they were to succeed, they'd be the first ones China takes out and take their money to boot, because everything goes to the state. That's what Kamala Harris was wanting. Everything to be run by the state. Department of Education, think about it. Department of Education is a federally run thing. It is state education, run by the state. Not run by the individual states of the U.S., run by the federal state. That's communism, folks. In order to get funding, they've had to teach what the state told them to teach. That's a communist thing. The tactics they're using are communist tactics and strategy. They focus on people's emotions, get people all hyped up. The logic and rationale centers of their brain quit working. And they will only see what they've been told to see. Some people may actually wake up and see it, but they hate being wrong so bad, they'd rather keep on going with the lie so they don't have to be wrong. And some people, it's not because they'd have to admit being wrong. They wouldn't mind admitting they're wrong on something. But because of their pride of having been fooled and don't want to admit they've been fooled. Capiche? No. What up? That's what goes on in some people's brains, is they can't handle the fact they've been fooled. So rather than admit they've been fooled, even worse than having to admit being wrong, they admit being wrong, but to be fooled. Before they admit being fooled, they'll double, triple, quadruple down on the lie to keep from admitting they've been fooled. So yeah, these people up there that are doing all this stuff, they ain't stupid, they're smart. They're going by a program that's already been played out. And it's what communists do in every nation they've took over. They go in, they tear it down, they usurp all its resources and make it look like Tijuana, Mexico. When I went there while I was in the Marines, and have a bunch of cardboard cities laying around. And there was nothing left to usurp. They move on to the next one. Well, we pretty much the last bastion of hope. They want just a very few people to have anything to work with. Like Kim Jong-un over there. All his people skinny as a rail, and he's fat. His daughter's fat. You know, they just call being fat for what it is, being fat. I'm fat. I got reasons for being fat, but I've been all heavy most all my life anyhow. Ain't no shame in my game about it. Of course, when I had my strength and wasn't going down in strength, I could do things you would not believe. So my fat helped me to be anchored down to where I could do the lifting, pushing, and pulling of the things that I had.
Yeah, there's 10 catfish there. Okay.
Yeah, he's in there.
Yeah, I just saw that. I've been listening and double checking and doing other things too.
Okay. She doing her main moderator thing plus other stuff.
Yeah.
We're eventually going to put that StreamYard on my mobile device here. I call it a mobile device instead of a phone because I don't have a SIM card in it. I don't have no need of no number. I want to talk to somebody. I got Facebook Messenger. Problem solved. That way I ain't got to try to hold a phone up to my ear. My arm gets tired real quick. That's Deadpool. I don't see you, Albert. How you doing?
Hi, Deadpool.
But anyhow, like I said, don't think these people are stupid. They're smart. Their seeming stupidity is to affect those of us on the MAGA side, on the red side, on the common sense side, get ticked off and get into our emotions that way. You can't let them do that because it is a tactic and a strategy. It's kind of akin to nothing to see here. Move along. Oh, Lord have mercy. But what you working on? Or are you at work? Well, glad you popped back in. Folks, Deadpool must be pretty bored at work or whatever he's working on to be watching me while he's doing it. I'm just saying. I'm sorry, Deadpool. It's a going. I'm still here, for better or worse. Car's doing better. And there's so much more on all that stuff, folks, that I've been absorbing all week. I can't think of it all. Those are some of the main things on my mind with that. But don't go to thinking these people are stupid. They're not. Communism and communists are some of the worst evil that you'll ever see, except for satanic rituals, which a lot of them are involved with. That's one of the things that makes them so evil. They work with evil. Now, I'm talking the worst there is. So don't think they're stupid. It's a tactic. You know, heard one of them I listened to talking and said, I don't know why God allows this and how this could be. Well, you know, it's like I told one boy once, something he found very profound. What is has to be, because it has already been done. Past, present, and future there, folks. It has already been done. So it has to be. God wrote it, created it from beginning to end, wrote it from the moment he said, let there be light, until the moment that all this ends and goes back to heaven. And all the bad has been took out. He wrote it then to then. So it's going according to a plan. God's plan. And his will for his plan is being done. Sadly, as in most things, construction, you have to have some destruction in order to have some construction. So there has to be good and bad involved. The Bible does say there's children of wrath as well as there are children of God. There's going to be those who rebel against God, don't want God. They won't want Satan has to offer. Now, the sad thing is they're fooled on that too because they think Satan's going to give them a lavish life for eternity. Living it up good. No. They're going to get to play here for a little while. Then they have to pay the price. Burning in hell for the rest of eternity. Boy, they're going to be in for a shock when that happens. Many have already paid that price. So, I'm looking at not only the physical aspects of the workings of the machinery that's going on to do all this, I'm looking at it from the spiritual aspects of what God has going on. Those who adhere to God are doing what God has them to do. Those who refuse God are doing what Satan has them do. So to have that money, power, and control, they're willing to do anything. Up to and including involving themselves in pleasures that should not be. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Epstein Island, Diddy parties, things of that nature. Sacrifices. You know, like Ukraine. People forget why Ukraine started. There was a plant over there that was producing adrenochrome. You had to sacrifice a lot of children to make that adrenochrome. Russia invaded Ukraine to destroy that plant. Democrats were helping Ukraine because they didn't want that plant destroyed either because they were the ones benefiting from the adrenochrome. There's a lot of actors and actresses out there don't look as good anymore because they ain't getting it no more. So yeah, Putin is a bad to the bone dictator. I mean, he's as mean as they come. But he invaded Ukraine to save children.
But I'll tell you, it was because he wanted the land, but years ago, he stated why he did it.
Yeah. And that was the reason he invaded Ukraine. That's why it was getting so close to us being involved in a World War III, because Democrats were making it sound like Putin was just an evil, mean dictator trying to take advantage of Ukraine. No, he was trying to save children. Zelensky's grabbing people off the street and making them put on a uniform and go out there to die. Putin didn't do that. So who's worse? Tina! Tell Jesse I heard that on that video while she had her finger stuck up that plastic nose. That was a good video too, Tina. Those are some pretty awesome stores. There she is. Yeah, Jesse, I heard that. Of course, you probably already read my comment, so love seeing those yo-yos. I ain't seen yo-yos like that in a couple, 3 decades. Yeah, Tina, I kind of figured that out. There's little noses of all sorts, and there was one where she could stick both her fingers up into it and tell Piggy how to pick somebody else's nose. I heard that.
That's funny.
And I could almost see you doing it too. Just to irritate the fool out of somebody. You got soap and water, it'll wash off. All right, Mama Bear, you take care. I'll see what you put on Facebook. Oh, so anyway, we're right now waiting to see if the others come home tonight or sometime tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they don't leave sometime tomorrow.
And she'll probably call my cell phone instead of my home phone. So I have to kind of keep it on and by me to make sure.
Right. Yeah, she knows we're at home. She knows we got a landline. But she'll call the cell phone when we're home. And she'll call the home phone when we're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of keep things at odds. Well, I called you. Yeah. So anyway. Might be a short live. I'm running out of steam. Yeah, I watched that video and saw stuff you showing off in there. Those are some she showed one, right? Had different kinds of candies. One of them was whorehound candy.
Oh, I would love to have some whorehound candy and some. I can't remember the type that Granny got. She had a small bottle of whiskey. You put that whorehound candy in it, let it set, turn and shake it real good. And after it sets for about 6 weeks, you have some of the best cough syrup.
Right.
But I can't remember the brand of whiskey. So she might have just bought the cheapest brand it was.
Cool. Tina, that store was amazing. I got real interested in those jelly beans you were showing. Actually, there was a lot of stuff there that was interesting. Those jelly beans caught my eye.
Piggy likes jelly beans. I like jelly beans.
Well, I do and I don't. Just don't give me a black one.
I don't like the black ones. I Elsie loved the black ones.
But these weren't just any jelly beans. These were special. They had different flavors. They had blueberry or something. They had all sorts of different types of flavors.
Yeah.
That you don't get in a regular pack of jelly beans.
Yeah, probably like the. I know the names of them, but I can't think of it because you have sometimes the speckled jelly beans, but all different flavors of them. Oh man, I'd love to have them.
Well, Tina, you could have all the black ones. Ew. I can't do the black ones.
I like the coconut ones.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like Dumbledore when he went to see Potter in their little hospital thing. And had those every flavored.
Bernie Bott's every flavored jelly beans.
Yeah. He said he had those ones. Got one out, taste it. Earwax.
Earwax.
Yep. That was the one I had then. That would just be gross. I ain't never had those. Ain't if those actually exist.
They do. Somebody made them.
Huh?
Somebody made them.
Oh.
After Harry Potter movies come out, somebody made the candy.
Yeah. You talk about a Russian roulette.
Yep.
I think popcorn was one of them that was in there among those jelly beans she was showing. You went a little fast across those, Tina, so I couldn't catch them. But I did have to say something about blueberry. I love blueberry. But, yeah, those were a couple of amazing little stores you went to. What was the name of that one? Pet something? Pet Pop? Pop Pet? Can't remember off the top of my head. That was fairly interesting. That first store was awesome. Pet Pop. Okay. That was pretty awesome. Derek finally learning some more information about his tractor. He finally found the serial number on that thing. He might actually get where he can get the right parts for it now. They'll want me going live because his to-do list was getting long and longer. So he's going to forego his live to get ready. He's going on a trip taking some of the students where he teaches to Derek, I was just talking about you, and here you pop up. Talking about how you found out more information on your tractor. You might now actually be able to get some decent parts for it.
Hi, Derek.
Hey, make money hand over fist that way.
Yeah. I call those general stores.
Yeah. That reminded me of a old mom and pop used to be down the way a bit. It's no longer there. It's been leveled and something new built. But let's just put it this way. It was old gray boards when I was a kid. Get sliced bologna, pickled eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'd slice the bologna for you.
Yeah, that's what that's some of the best you can get. And the cheese they cut with it, the hoop cheese.
I don't remember that, but it probably was there. But
oh man,
yeah, you can get hardware. You can order furniture through there. You know, had food products. Of course, favorite thing it had for me was candy. You know, the itty bitty thing. Somewhere between 5 and 7 years old. Oh yeah, the candy was it for me. Further up the road from it, we lived in an old red house. It and the store that was next to it ain't there no more either. But store owner there was the one that taught me how to be a conservative and to work for what I want. We was little young kids, and you know we wanted candy, but well, he had a cotton field on the other side of that store. He gave us little bags or something, and go out there and fill those little bags up. And he'd give us so much money, and we'd use that money to buy candy. Oh, I was a worker after that. Make my own money, get what I want out of it. Shoot, yeah. Best lesson a person could teach a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to worry about driving anymore. You created a piggy fault. You might have to explain that one. So I still got to drive. Unless I happen to one day keel over and stop breathing.
Or unless he don't feel good and I drive, which is very rare.
Right. Yeah, but man, that's old story. He taught me the best lesson a man could ever teach a kid. A basic lesson in economics. You do some work, you get some money. You get some money, you can buy what you want with it. As long as it falls within the amount of money you got. That's where it all began. Sometime between, well, probably between age of 6 and 7 at that time. Then, like I said, there was this other mom and pop down here. A catapult for Piggy. Well, you wouldn't get to use it but one time. That would do me in. If I didn't have a heart attack from screaming as I flew through the air, that impact would be the end of it. Oh, Mama Linda, you want to get rid of Piggy that bad? That's it, Derek. But I think the man saw that we weren't going to really get taught that too well. So he taught us. One worked for it. It's always worked. I've got it from other sources that have worked for the other one that he's also a shyster. That was funny. We was up there at that shop the boys I like to work on the car are at, and got talking to this fella. And he said he worked at such a place, and I told him, I said, you know so and so? Yeah. Boy, that dude's a shyster. I just looked at him and smiled. Said, that's my brother. He just kind of looked at me sheepishly and smiled sheepishly. We just both started laughing.
Truth's true.
I just looked at him, I said, probably right. And he just smiled bigger. Of course, I'm sure he felt that white flush go through him when I said that's my brother. Like, oh crap. Then turned out I agree with him. Oh Lord, Mama Linda must be wanting that spiral cut ham. She's telling the Abbott to smoke them.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was how I learned the work ethic. Now, picking cotton ain't easy. I may have been young, but that was some tough stuff. Yeah, Derek, you did at first. That's about the time I said, yeah, probably so. I wouldn't be surprised. We both smiled and started laughing a little bit after that. You know, that got back around where he worked at too. Dang, I met his brother. He confirmed. I don't think he likes him much.
It's been over 6 years since you talked to him. Close to 8 or 9.
And if it's before I die, it'll still be too soon. Hey, why don't you let me know how you feel about me? You're done. Hey, I was at a family gathering once, and the thing about illegals and foreign nationals and all like that somehow come up. They sitting there talking about wetbacks and iggers. You know what I'm saying? I'm just sitting there kind of like, y'all a bunch of racist bigots. Y'all claim to go to church and be Christian. Nah, Piggy don't play that crap. I don't care if you're a stick or a slit. I don't care what paint job you got on your skin. Treat me like a decent human being, I'll do the same. You act like you're a stereotype, I'll just avoid you. Ain't no call for all that nonsense. And if you act like an ignorant or willfully ignorant, I'll avoid you also. Ain't gonna waste my time and intelligence on somebody that's gonna tell you the sky is green when it's blue. And when it comes to getting advice, I don't care if you're a stick or a slit or what paint job you got on your skin. If you've got the knowledge, I want to know. I don't care if it comes from a young buck who's way younger than me, like my boy up there at the shop, Clay. He's around 20 years younger than me. But boy, that young man knows a lot about how to not only work on but troubleshoot vehicles. And if he don't know it, he knows who to look to find out. But they dare say there's a whole lot he don't know. Hope that came out right. I'd say there's not too much that he doesn't know. I'll say it that way. His younger brother, David, who's a year or 4 younger than he is also very knowledgeable about vehicles.
David's the only one that works on ours now.
Usually, yeah. And of course, I would be the one that bring them something every once in a while that just can't be figured out. And it tears David's pride up something fierce when he can't find something, when he can't figure it out. He gets mad. I've had to tell him, that's all right, David. I said, this thing's 10 years old. It could be something simple. It could be a hardened piece of rubber somewhere. You know, we'll just have to wait and find out when whatever it is pops loose and you have to go to fix it and that problem disappears. Then we'll know. Didn't make him feel much better, but it helped a little. I think the whole thing that I wasn't ticked off they couldn't find it helped a lot too. Like, hey, it happens. There is another shop in town, apparently, that knows a whole lot more than they do. I ain't got the kind of money it would take just to pull my car into that place. I don't know which one it is, but I don't want to know. I know I couldn't afford to drive into their parking lot. Right there. I totally understand. I've helped them boys make sales up there for over the last 20 years. Maybe people come in, they telling you what things are going to cost. They'd be on the fence. And, well, man, then I'd start talking to them everything that they've done for me. And then just tell them in the end, say, they might be a touch more expensive than other places around. I said, but you get more bang for your buck with them. I said, they don't do nothing unless they run it by you first. And I mean, they don't do nothing. I told them a couple of examples of things they'd done for me. They cozy back up to the counter ready to talk turkey. You know, me and Clay talked about that one day. I told him I was talking about sales and stuff and all like that. And I told him, I said, yeah, I've helped you. I've helped to convince a couple here and there. Clay just looked at me and said, oh, I know. I've heard you. It's one of the reasons they like me. And there ain't no telling how much business they got off that person plus people that person knew. Because somebody like me who has come to trust them, just tell them point blank, yeah, they might be a little bit more expensive than most, but you're going to get more bang for your buck, and they're going to guarantee their work. That's why I like going to them. So, anywho, I got to call up there and get the name of a website. They got it. She's not a young woman, but she's a lot younger than me. Recently moved out here about 3 or 4 or 5 years ago from California. I looked at her. I said, uh-oh. She said, oh, I know. You're going to be one of them. Give me a hard time. I said, not too bad. But she knows a little bit about cars, and she knows what she's doing behind that counter. I like her. I trust her. And I told her about the Rock Auto thing with those brake calipers. And she wrote down for me the name of a website of another car parts place like Rock Auto. And she said, they are a lot better. And I figured she probably came across them because of the boys up there. And if the boys like that website, they got to be good. So I got to get the name of that website again and look up parts, see how much parts would cost me. Because on Amazon, O'Reilly's, AutoZone, that fuel filter, it runs $75. It shouldn't cost that much. But dang, it cost more than the sensors I was looking at to put on the car. A lot more. I mean, it's just a filter. And it's like no telling how many other types of cars that filter actually fits on. So it's not like it's totally unique. gracious. So I got to look into that, and I'll look up those sensors and stuff I'm looking at. Of course, again, I'm not sure that I'm going to have to because it seems like that Lucas fuel additive that's supposed to be pretty much for the whole fuel system is cleaning out that fuel filter too. Because I ain't getting barely any lurching, and it ain't hard when it does, and it don't throw a code when it does, and everything. So having that Lucas fuel additive, you're right, that's some good stuff. I was noticing a difference when I got the one that was just for the fuel injectors. It was doing better. But when I put that other one in there, it started doing some cleaning. Oh, man. It's running a lot smoother. You able to goose the gas pretty good, and it goes straight up 3,500, 4,000 RPM, no problem. Get you some gone.
Yeah, Derek, you get a good mechanic. Stick with them. That's for sure. That goes for plumbers and electricians too.
Well, Derek, thing is, the filter is not inside the tank. It's on the outside of the tank. It's up underneath it's in front of the back right tire, just under the passenger seat. You take off a little skid plate, and it's right there. You take, I think it said like a 33 millimeter socket to loosen it, drain the gas that comes out of it, take the old one out, replace a couple of O-rings, put the new one in, and put it right back in. It might be possible that I might can do it, but I also might set up the time with my little sis up there in Mentone to go up there and get her husband, Philip, my brother, to do it. He's a skinny little part. He could probably almost get up under that thing as it sits. Probably still jack it up, give him a little room to work. But you know what I mean. Probably wouldn't take him 15, 20 minutes to get it done once it's jacked up. What I've seen about the sensors so far, don't seem like they would be too bad to get to and work with. But it's just a matter of how I'd have to do it. If I knew somebody around here had a rack, I'd become their friend real quick. I thought about taking it up there to Half Done Half Wit's shop, which is now his son's shop, and asking how much he'd charge me to rent his rack and tools to be able to do it. But I don't want to have a silent obligation thing come up because of it, even though I would be paying him for it. Is that what it is, Avid? But anyway, I think I'm going to get off here in a couple of minutes because I'm not hungry. She fed me some raviolis just before I got on here. But she's talking about baking up some sweet taters for us. That sounds awful good.
Sweet taters with some butter and brown sugar and cinnamon.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Might need more than two, though. Two the last time.
I'm going to cook what's left in there. There's only like maybe 3 or 4, something like in there.
Oh,
So whatever's in there, you can have what you want.
I'll take 2 of them then. That way you can have 2 of them.
I don't eat but one if I eat one.
Oh. Well, I'm trying to do what I can, have it, but I just can't do much. And I'm certainly no mechanic. If I was, all this stuff done be done. But I'm gonna get over here. Wait for some sweet tater.
I just said fuck you to go and put it in.
Well, all right. Piggy does you.
Bye, y'all.